Hey, crypto media friends. Just wanted to check in on Feudalz. It's funny this world that we're in NFT land. How we're this could be like I think when we first sort of talked about it, this is like a 50-50 rug pull, and then it was just like there's still like a hint of like, is this just a massive rug pull, Feudalz, because of just are they really moving this fast behind the scenes, because they're offering so many great things. I was like, great, wow, these guys are ready for prime time. And they did miss one thing that they promised, though, and that was that they were promising to dox as of yesterday, and they didn't. And I asked, and it took a while, actually. I had to kind of ask around a lot in the Discord, and then finally got the answer that they were going to be doing that quasi during the AMA that they're going to do tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, because you don't get this live. I do this live because this information is coming so fast. I mean, we're up 3x, overnight almost in a day. And if you're getting this video, if you got yesterday's video 6 weeks from now, I'm sorry. This is kind of just the way that I like doing it. And so, but this gets you the information as soon as possible. So having that Feudalz light paper, we went over the light paper in the previous video, and like I said, I was looking to see who was doxing, and the only person quasi is Akil Shesh here. Appears to be just a photographer. It's just nice to see somebody who's at least got their social connected to it, so you can say, okay, that's a person, and that's at least an artist who's working, and I understand the project a bit more, perhaps, and so it's just somebody who's been on Twitter since 2009, and has built a following of 20,000 people. So this gives me a bit more of a sense of the project. They'll be doing the AMA. Funny enough, the AMA is at the same time as Noundles. Now, this is the thing, there's like conspiracy theories about, there's, are these both the biggest rug pulls, in NFT land history? I don't know. I don't think so. But it's funny how you get sort of like these weird connections, like, oh my gosh, they're AMAs at the same time. They're just going to show up at both these AMAs and be like, this was all a rug pull. And so, they're certainly working hard, apparently, for rug pull, doing 1,000 ETH in volume last, actually, that was a couple days ago, actually. 2 days ago when we first sort of went on it here and got on board the project. And so, like I said, they really have been great about displaying sort of what's next and really keeping the community involved. It's like, okay, token distribution, private sale, and they're going to do a public sale. They were going to do the public sale the same time, but they decided to push it for the public sale because some perceived association in value for the token, which, of course, as we always say, is just one gold equals one gold in the world, just to skirt regulation. But laying out the roadmap, staking is going to be tonight at about 11 p.m. Eastern, I believe. White paper they were kind of working to crank out. So it's like, I feel like the team is working hard, probably on no sleep. We all know what these times are for these projects with this much heat, but I think they're doing a good job of putting out sort of the next, I won't say next carrot, but like, sort of the next bit to get excited about. And, the result of which, when I talk about community management, as a creator, is you have a floor price that went from 0.4 yesterday to 1.19. The number of supply actually did go up a little bit. Last night it was really pumping hard because that supply came down to 300 and change. But people woke up and were like, whoa, we're at 1 ETH. And so I think a lot hit the floor, but they got eaten right up, the demand again. If you look at the floor and how it doesn't have that much supply, it's just going to eat right up through. And so you're going to see when you keep coming back to this, then it's going to be at 1.3, then it's going to be 1.4. So, and the difference between that is a handful. And so because the supply is so small in this, you're going to see progressive changes within the floor. So every time you're coming back to this, it's like either going to be really high up, or it actually did dip after one. People feel like that's good enough for them. Like, oh yeah, 1 ETH, boom, I'm out. And so they sold at 1 ETH, and that got eaten right up. And so it really went from 0.89 to 1.19 as I was doing this, as I turned on my computer. So in the past 10 minutes. So so that resistance didn't last long, but so the other announcements that I wanted to share. So 11 p.m. staking, but I think that's the interesting part. Is I was a bit surprised that they didn't follow up with the docs. I know that's a personal sort of thing. They have promised to do so. Obviously, they are going to, and their shiny faces are going to be, on this AMA video. And interestingly, another sort of really nice fact that I found, I verified this with the Noundles Discord as well, is that their Feudalz and Noundles are going to be doing a collab in the Metaverse. And so that sort of alleviated, I think, a lot of, what if Feudalz is a rug pull? Because Noundles just doesn't seem anywhere near a rug pull, to be honest. It just has, so much going for it in terms of, I think the refinement in the art. Feudalz just looks like they grabbed some punks and, played around. But, but I think, that's the thing, is if they did focus indeed on the gaming aspect of it, to make it fun, and it does seem thought out, that it could be worth our time. And so especially worth our time, as creators, to examine the machinations of how they're utilizing this NFT game, and creating value. You see what they're doing, they're creating value for holders, and that's important in this space. And that's kind of what I preach is how are you going to make me rich, how are you going to enrich our experience, how are you going to enrich my appreciation for gaming, or how are you going to make this fun. And so I think that they're working really hard. Noundles is working really hard on that, and now they're working as a collab. So that for me took a lot of weight off of my shoulders of oh gosh, is Feudalz a rug? Because again, if you look at the surface, especially when we were looking at this project, it was a kind of so early on, there was just very little information about it. And so obviously the Discord again jumped another 1,000, maybe 800 or so overnight. And so obviously a lot of interest in this space in a very limited supply. And so that's going to really push and pull the pricing of it. No financial advice here, but again, subscribe, hit the bell notification, because that bell notification, it matters. And if you're a subscriber, you don't get this video until a day later, unless you hit the bell and then click on the bell, I guess, apparently. But I do this live because this is going to be all completely different tomorrow, like it was yesterday. It went 3x, today. I don't know what it's going to do tomorrow, but certainly if people stake and there's more, it's and everybody who gets involved is going to stake, and the value of golds, depending on rarity. This is where I'm particularly interested in, is they've associated rarity with gold's production within the NFT, within the game. And so if you have a quite high one, ostensibly you should be getting more golds. And especially if you got a woman, the floor for women right now, I think, is at minimum 2 ETH, because they're the ones that produce the most gold. And so I like that differentiation within the collection. It makes it interesting. It makes the game fun. So that, ostensibly you could even build a team. And I guess that's the gamification and what's being relayed. Again, this is such an interesting thing. They're thinking about it. I'm just hoping their execution is about it, because they're saying if you have one female and one male, they combine in a sense in terms of, defense against orcs, defense against and sort of their fighting skills. And so when you have two, one male, one female, they combine to be an even, greater as a team, within the game. And then, they're dropping these ideas of land, as I mentioned. And so they're really thinking about all these great aspects and machinations. It's well thought out in that way. I'm just looking for execution. I'm just looking for a team that can convince me that they can execute this. And so I'm hopeful, well, maybe I'll try and jump on after the AMA. But come on, we'll be in holiday mode, right? I'm supposed to be in holiday mode right now. Don't tell anybody that I'm doing this. I should be cranking out the last bits of work so that we can get to holiday. But like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll see you on the next. And put in the comments what you're thinking about Feudalz and Noundles. How are you feeling about this? It's either incredible or the biggest